Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder again with another Reddit story for you. This one actually comes from Petty Revenge and is titled, Wife's Grandmother Feels I'm Beneath Their Family. Takes a dig at my mother in front of Thanksgiving guests. Wow. Okay. Okay. This all happened about 40 years ago. Okay. My wife's family came from old money. They didn't have much left of it, but they were still high up in social circles. Due to all the complications of her family, she and I decided to elope, her idea, and because of that, she avoided telling her grandmother for about 2 months. I tried, but no amount of charm on my part could win her grandmother over. At Thanksgiving, she asked my wife to come over and help her get the house in order for Thanksgiving dinner. My wife and I were still newlyweds, so naturally, I wanted to come with. Her grandmother came downstairs, all smiles, with a pleasant disposition and a song in her voice, and then she saw me. What's he doing here? I tried to intervene and soften the blow. But, Ms. Thomas, I just wanted to come as well so I could pitch in, and that way I could help you get done faster. She accepted it as my reasoning, but she definitely wasn't happy, so she kept taking little digs at me the whole time. Something she always did whenever my wife took me along with her. The next day, just seconds before dinner started, my new mother-in-law, who had known the truth for weeks but had kept silent at my wife's request, took it upon herself to finally tell the grandmother that my ex and I were actually married. She did us a favor, really. I was personally tired of all the deception. I can't stand lying or liars. The grandmother was clearly shocked, but she had to put on a good face because there was company present. My mother-in-law wasn't so dumb after all. So while she was pretending to be gracious, I could still tell that it was killing her. And old habits die hard. Eventually, I overheard half a conversation with one of the guests at the other end of the table. She made sure to say it just loud enough so that I could hear. I just can't believe his mother hasn't reached out to welcome my granddaughter into their family, but of course, I had always hoped my granddaughter would one day marry someone of a better class, so I suppose that's to be expected. Oh no, you didn't. I can tolerate someone taking a dig at me. It's nothing off my back. But taking a shot at my mother with some complete stranger, plus you haven't exactly welcomed me into your family yet either, and you've had over 2 hours to do so, I silently thought to myself. So upon hearing that, I stood up and walked right past her and out of the back door. As the door was closing behind me, I heard the mock shock in her voice. What did I say? What did I say? About 10 minutes later, my wife caught up to me in her car as I was walking back to our apartment. It was 5 miles, so yeah, I was being a bit stupid at that point, letting her get at me, but I was mad, damn it. That old woman totally knew exactly what she did, and it was no slip of the tongue either. It was obvious to everyone that she had intended to hurt me. Plus, I saw that little smirk on her face as I walked past her. It was intentional. She was trying to make me leave, and I did, so she totally thought that she had won. But I already knew how I was going to get her back, and I was going to use her own words to get my revenge. Part of the reason she didn't like me was the fact that I was military. Even worse, I was enlisted. Military officers were fine, of course, but an enlisted man? Why, I never. But there was one thing about being in the military that I could use to get back at her. You see, she really loved and actually demanded that her granddaughter come over at Christmas. It was a big to-do every single year, the biggest, especially among all of her social friends. That's what gave me the idea of how I could not only ruin that for her, but also use her own Thanksgiving dig at me to do it. You see, military personnel can oftentimes take vacation at the drop of a hat. I had over 50 days worth of leave available to me, so I requested and was approved to take 3 weeks worth of it. That way, I made sure that my wife would be with me out of state for Christmas and New Year's, so my mother could properly, and more importantly, personally welcome my wife into our family. It practically killed the old bat. It was sweet, delicious revenge. She was so mad and so loud on the phone, practically screaming, that I didn't even have to listen in on the other line when my wife called her. I could overhear everything she said on the phone that my wife was using. You're where? But what about Christmas? I have guests and family coming, and I've already promised everyone that you will be here. I need you here. You're supposed to be here with me. Yeah, well, perhaps you should have thought of that before trash-talking my mama right in front of me. But what do I know? I'm from such a low class of people. We had a great time. It was one of the best family Christmases ever. An epic one for the books. For my family, at least. How the turntables. I freaking love it. There's not much that I need to say about this at all. The salty old bird did this to herself by being a salty old bird. Oh, look, you've gifted me with the
with the consequences of my very own actions. I have tasted my own medicine, and it is bitter.
Patty confetti for OP. Love it.